Welcome back to a special edition of the Willis Report, Rebuilding the American Dream. We're getting to the bottom of the most pressing issues facing Americans in the housing market, like trying to buy or sell your property. Our expert panel of realtors, their white-hot panel of realtors, joining me now with their tips and tricks of the trade. Kendra Todd is the founder and CEO of the Kendra Todd Group in Seattle, and Oren Alexander is the co-founder of the Alexander Group. Welcome to you both. Great to have you both here. Oren, I'm going to start with you because you sold the most expensive house in Miami ever recently. Take a look at these pictures, people. It's a beautiful mansion. It went for $47 million. Originally priced at $60 million, had to bring it down to $52 and finally $47. So for our viewers out there who, maybe they're trying to sell and having to reprice, what's your advice?
Well, actually, Jerry, it was originally priced at $52, and because of all the traffic we had coming to see the house, we raised it to $60, and then we reduced it back to $52. And that's where we got to our final price of $47 million.
But this is considered a big success out there. So what did you tell the sellers about moving the price around? Were they happy with what they got? And how did you come to settle on that number?
I think the seller realized that this was an irreplaceable piece of property. There was nothing like it in the market, as well as they knew there was nothing coming to market in the next couple years that can compare to this.
I guess you've got to think about how special your property is and what you bring to market that nobody else does. Kendra, you've been on the West Coast. I know you do business all over the country. Talk to me about what you're seeing in your marketplace out there. How's it different from anywhere else? Are housing prices stable or rising? What's going on?
Well, we've been experiencing some really great news recently here on the West Coast, and particularly in Seattle. As a matter of fact, Realtor.com posted the third quarter top 10 turnaround markets in the country, and 9 of them are on the West Coast.
Nice.
Seattle is number 4. And coincidentally, Seattle is the only city on that list that didn't get absolutely slammed during the housing downturn. Like California, Nevada, and Arizona. So we actually, in October, Jerry, experienced a 16% year-over-year price increase, which is the highest price increase that we've had for a median single-family home since 2006.
That's good news. Now, Oren just shared one of his selling tips. Why don't you give us a buying tip? If you're out there, you're looking for a property, you're trying to analyze a marketplace. Kendra, how do you do it? You're successful at it. What's the key to understanding what's going on with prices?
Well, I think, number one, you have to understand what's going on in your local market. Here in Seattle, for example, we're experiencing really low inventory. There's just not a lot of really great homes for sale. As a result, we're experiencing bidding wars, multiple offer situations, and so we're having to coach buyers on really jumping on that home that they like, coming to the table with a really strong offer, being pre-qualified ahead of time, and be willing to pull the trigger. So,
of course, not everybody
we've really experienced a turnaround.
And not everybody is dealing with a market where it's multiple bidders, a bidding war. Oren, to you, in Miami, I know that market has been in recovery and is doing better, but it might not be exactly where you want it to be. What do you do when you've got a property you're trying to sell out there and position just the right way to make sure you're appealing to the right people? You're dealing with a probably persnickety high-end crowd, I would think.
Yeah, I think the key to selling a property specifically for a record price is a great broker. And it's important that the broker has an international presence, since most of the buyers today in both Miami and New York, specifically in the high end, are coming from foreign markets.
There's a lot of the buyers over the last couple of years have been from foreign markets. Kendra, we've been talking about an issue that I want to bring up now in this interview, which is the fiscal cliff and what's going on with housing vis-a-vis how our tax rates could change. Kendra, you start us off here. Is that going to be a big issue where you are, and what are you telling clients?
I really do think it's going to be a big issue. It's a giant concern. I mean, the uncertainty about what's going to happen with tax increases, the whole idea that we're going to lose that cap on the long-term capital gains is going to drive away particularly a lot of investors. And investors have really absorbed a lot of the foreclosure properties across this country and helped push us towards a housing recovery. And so we need those buyers in the market to help keep us stable. I think right now, a sustainable real estate recovery is an absolute wild card with all this uncertainty.
Wow. Oren, do you agree, or are you more optimistic?
Well, I have seen a recent uptick in the past week since the election of sellers looking to try to get rid of their properties before the year end.
So you're seeing more people at the high end coming into the market because they're worried about how taxes are going to change. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, how likely is it that you can unload a property in that short a period of time?
Well, I am good at what I do, so I'm definitely confident that today, with the fact that the market has so many buyers that are waiting to purchase these trophy properties, that there is an opportunity to possibly unload a property.
You think you can match them up, but still, that's a high-level task. But clearly, even people at the high end are concerned about what's going on with taxes right now.
That is correct, Jerry.
All right. Kendra, what are you advising people who are worried about this? Are you telling people to unload properties? Are you telling them to buy now? What's your basic advice?
Well, I think it's an incredible time to buy regardless. Now, for sellers, it's a very different story. If they can sell, if they have equity in the property, I'm strongly encouraging them to sell and to sell now so they don't deal with the long-term tax implications. However, we still have a major negative equity problem in this country, and a lot of people need that forward momentum so that they can get out from under their mortgages.
Well put. I told you they were a white-hot panel. Kendra and Oren, thanks for coming in tonight. Really appreciate it. Good job.